Good morning and happy Tuesday. I just pulled up to the cash points to make a deposit. I was going to deposit a check, and it looks like somebody went Hulk smash on the door over here. It's okay though. We've added the safety feature of a nice 2x4, so we're good. We're good to go. No, it's out of service. So I guess I'm not depositing a check here today. So how's your day going? Mine's good. They're putting up the hardy board on my house. Funny thing is, they told me it was going to be primed, and in my mind, I'm picturing like primer for an automobile, like that gray, gray primer. Just in my mind, I just assumed the hardy board would be gray with the primer on it. No, the primer is yellow, which is funny. It's almost like, well, shit, I don't even need to paint it. I'm going to still have it painted because you can't just leave primer on there. But it's kind of funny because I'm going back with yellow. So we're going to have it go from yellow to yellow. It's out of service back there, Chevy Cavalier. You can't get money here. Because some jackhole apparently got the bright idea of, God almighty, like all the metal is just like, look at this. Look at it. All the metal is just pulled away from the little door thing. That's crazy. Ew. That lady walked up and it says out of service. The little thing on it says out of service. She tried to push buttons on it anyway. Like, it'll work for me though, right? No, it won't work for you either. And it's not gonna work for you, man. Go up and push the buttons though. It's like when you're waiting for an elevator and you've pushed the button to call the elevator and it doesn't come. Just keep pushing the button and it'll come faster for you. I mean, it just doesn't realize you're the one waiting for it. You need to remind it. You need to let it know. Yeah, she's like lady, it says right there on the screen, out of service. Big ass letters, out of service. Humans are funny. Humans are so funny. Okay. So they're working on my stuff. They're putting up the hardy board. I got mad at my younger son this morning for no reason. I had to go up into the attic. I sold something on eBay and I keep a lot of it in totes up in the attic, and I was going up there to get it. And I opened the door, and my house has dedicated steps to the attic. It's not like pull down steps. You open a door and you just walk up the steps into the attic. It's wonderful. I love it. But I opened the door and there's all this shit like all over the stairs. I have all of my paintings up there that I've, my Halloween paintings that I did. I had them all lined up, just propped up on the wall up there, And they were all scattered coming down the steps. There was other stuff on the steps. There were wreaths on the steps. And my first thought was, what did he do? Why would he come in here and do this? Because his room is right there. You have to go through his room to get to the attic door. I don't know why, I just automatically assumed, like, what in the world was he doing in here? But then I realized, no, that was from them hammering and banging on that outside wall, and it caused the stuff to fall off. That's all it was. He didn't do anything, and then I felt bad for just assuming it was him. To be fair, though, he is really bad about dragging a bunch of stuff out and leaving it all over the floor, which I've never understood, because then he always has to go back and clean it all up. Like, I'm not picking that shit up. You need to go get it up. And he has to go get it up. Like, why do you keep doing this? He's done it ever since he was a toddler. Whenever he's doing anything, he just drags everything out and lays it all out on the floor. He says he does it so he can see everything better and he can choose, what he wants depending on whatever he's doing. It's all there and he can see it. He's always done it. And he's had to clean it up thousands of times, and he just keeps doing it. I don't get it. Personally, I'd get tired of it after a while. I'm going to pick all this shit back up. He doesn't seem to mind it, though. He cleans it all up. I don't know. I don't understand. He's left-handed. And see, I grew up with a bunch of left-handers. I was the only right-handed person in my house growing up. Left-handers just think differently. They really do. They don't process things like right-handed people. They really don't. They look at the world differently. They are very different. Overall, left-handers have a slightly higher IQ, but a slightly shorter lifespan. In general, they don't live quite as long as right-handed people, and but they are slightly smarter, and they are more likely to be creative and artistic. It's very cool. So yeah, I'm killing time right now. I wanted to get out of the house for a little bit. I have to take my son to an appointment this afternoon. He has an orthodontist appointment, which I hope is going to be his last one. Man, I had to go to the orthodontist for 2 years with my older son, and then I got a break for like a year, and then I had to start with my younger son, and I am so sick and tired of going to the orthodontist. Oh, dear God. You have to go sign them out of school, take them, take time off work, and you never know how long you're going to be there, and, I am so ready to be done with the orthodontist. I mean, it's like, you have all my money now. You have all my money. You have all the money. Can we be done? You have taken all of my money. I'm ready to be done. So, yeah. I hope this will be his last appointment. I really hope. So, there goes a crane flying across the road. Oh, there's a little lake right here. Wow. I was scrolling around on Facebook the other night, and there was a quiz. I don't do the quizzes and things on there because they're really just mining your information, I'm pretty sure. Trying to get you to look at porn or something. The question for the quiz was, are you weird? Take this quiz and find out. Well, of course you are. I can already tell you the answer to that. Yes, very much so. But here's the thing. In my opinion, everybody's weird. Everybody. Don't feel like there's something wrong with you. I mean, unless you're like killing people and piling them up in the basement, don't do that. But if you just do quirky little things, it's okay. Everybody's weird. You follow anybody around for 24 hours, you're going to find at least one thing about them that you're going to go, that's kind of weird. But see, weird is subjective. I mean, what you think is weird, somebody else might think is totally normal. Like, what's weird about that? I do that all the time. Or, that's not a weird food preference. I love that. And it also doesn't make you special. I mean, everybody's special, but you don't use it as your calling card and as your theme song. I'm weird. So what? Everybody's weird. Tell me what else you have. What about you is interesting? What can you do? What have you accomplished? That's what I want to know. I don't want to hear that you're weird because everybody's weird. I'm the most weird person. No, you aren't. You're actually probably pretty normal because everybody has a certain degree of weirdness about them. Some people just hide it better than others. What makes up your identity? Who are you? I think a lot of people struggle with that today more so than previous generations. Because before, in previous generations growing up, it was pretty much, for better or for worse, it was pretty much cut and dried. You knew, okay, here's what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to be, this is my life, it's already laid out in front of me. I already know I know where I'm going to work, or I know what I'm going to do. And that was it. There wasn't really, most people in previous generations really didn't have a lot of choices when it came to what they did with their life. Some people did. I'm not saying nobody did. But compared to the current day, most humans who have lived didn't really have a lot of options when it came to their adulthood, their future. You kind of did what was expected of you most of the time, and whatever that was, you were just going to do that until you died. So, who are you? Well, I'm a farmer. I'm a mother. I'm a ditch digger. I don't know. I work in the coal mines. That's who I am. I'm a father. I'm a mother. I'm a son, daughter, granddaughter, whatever you are. You pretty much knew what you were, who you were. But now you're told you can be anything you want to be, which is great, but at the same time it can be kind of overwhelming oh my God, I can be anything I want. I don't know what I want. It's like you just dropped me in the middle of this Vegas super bar and there is literally anything here to eat that I could ever want. Well, now I don't know what I want because you've given me too many choices. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I forget where I was going with that. But it's hard. And I think a lot of people feel like they have no identity. They don't have anything about them that makes them special. So they will latch on to stuff and say, well, this is what I am, this is who I am, and they talk about it incessantly to the point that no one wants to be around them anymore. Like, everybody went to school with at least one kid who would not shut up about how weird they were. I'm so weird. Oh my God. I'm such a geek. I'm so weird. I'm a dork. Like, please stop. Just stop. You're not weird. Oh, I am really weird. Like, how so? I once took a piece of thread and wrapped it around my finger until it turned purple. Everybody's done that. Every person alive has done that, either with a piece of thread or a floss or a rubber band. Everybody's done that. Oh, well, the way I did it was really weird, though, because I pulled it out of my shirt. Everybody's done that. So what you need to do, finding my wallet. So I wasn't able to cash this check, I guess. My insurance is weird. I'm self-insured, so it costs like my firstborn's soul every month to pay the premiums on this insurance. But it's better insurance than the shitty insurance I had before that I had to harass for months about the dental stuff, which I finally got resolved, but it took a ridiculous amount of time. It was over a year, I think. But every time I get a prescription filled, I have to pay for it. But every time I get one filled, for some reason they send me a check for $6. I don't know why it's $6. I don't know. I have found nothing in the policy to explain this to me, but every time I get a prescription filled, a few days later, I get a check for $6. So I have to keep cashing these $6 checks. Because every time I get my thyroid medication filled, I get a $6 check. And I have to get it filled once a month. Well, it works out that it's actually cheaper that way. You would think every 3 months would be cheaper, but to get it done once a month for me is cheaper. Anyway, the problem with these checks, though, where the amount is written in, it has a black background and the numbers are white, and the ATM can never read the check, so I always have to manually enter $6, and I feel really stupid. Like, I cannot believe I came all the way here to deposit this stupid check. And I couldn't even do that today because it looks like, I don't know, it looks like Dumb and Dumber tried to break into the ATM. Like, what did you think you were going to do? That looks like a hatchet job. It does not look like it was done by an actual employee of the credit union. I think it was just two bobos that thought they were going to get some money. I don't know. But, anyway. What was I saying? Shit. What makes you, you? Who are you? I don't know who I am, you might say. Well, put some work into honing a skill or a talent. You know, they say, I think, 10,000 hours you have to put into a talent or a skill to become proficient. 10,000 hours. You could start working towards that. You could take some classes. You could watch some documentaries. You could find some interesting stuff. You might find something that sparks your interest and encourages you to learn more or to do something. You could do that. You could totally do that. And that is going to make you much more interesting than some label you have given yourself that nobody else cares about. And I'm just being brutally honest. I'm being blunt as a spoon. Nobody wants to hear it. Okay? You can give yourself whatever label you want to. Other people are not going to care. Nobody cares. No offense, nobody cares. What we want to know is other people, if you're interested in engaging with other people, what else you got? What else is there to you? What can you provide? What can you tell me about that is of any interest at all? Or Is that your personality? And I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to help. What makes up your personality? Are you funny? Are you engaging? Are you charismatic? You could always work on being more, you could work on honing those skills, because they are, I think they really are skills that you have to kind of develop. Some people are naturally funny or engaging or charismatic, but I think you will find, if you've known them for years, that they have become more so over the years, because they have kind of honed their skills, so to speak. They've become more so. It's a terrible example, but I think of Jim Jones when he was a child. You know, the People's Temple that down in Guyana. You know, the Flavor Aid. It wasn't Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid they drank. And some of them were shot because I probably because they didn't want to drink the stuff. When he was a child, he was fascinated with his ability to get people to do what he told them to do. He was fascinated by that. He grew up with a very sick father and a pretty negligent and neglectful and kind of mean mom. I mean, he really had a shitty childhood, but I think it was a neighbor or a relative, an older lady, started taking him to church, and he became fascinated with the whole idea of a church and a pastor and a leader of a group of people. And he started preaching sermons to neighborhood kids. He would basically hold them hostage and make them stay there with him for hours. He would do funerals for dead animals. He became fascinated with keeping people in his presence and making them do what he wanted them to do. And there were examples when he was older of some sadistic tendencies as well. And it was something that he honed throughout his life. It was something that he practiced and got better at. And that is a shitty example. I should use like a concert pianist or something, but I can't think of any right now, and the word pianist always makes me laugh. Pianist. I become Beavis and Butthead when I say that word. It sounds like penis. So you can develop your natural skills. You can't just sit there and say, well, I'm charismatic, and not do anything about it. You have to practice it. You have to get better at it, and you can. Please don't become a cult leader, though. There's no future in it. Yeah, oh God, don't do that. That's bad news right there. That's a bad path to take. Don't do that. But you could work on a skill or a talent that you are interested in, and you have to be interested in it. If you're not interested in it, you won't stick with it. So try to find something that interests you, and stick with that. And then you know, practice your conversation skills. That's another thing a lot of young people have a problem with, is conversation skills. You can practice talking to people. If you have a job, you could practice talking to people there. You could talk to people in your family. You could talk to your friends. And I don't mean with a screen. I mean, put the devices down. Look at someone, look them in the eye, and talk to them. Practice eye contact. A lot of young people do not know how to maintain eye contact. It really freaks them out. Not really sure what that's going to look like in 40 years, but yeah, a lot of young people have a hard time with eye contact. You can't really connect with people if you can't look at them. It's very difficult. So are you weird? Am I weird? Yeah, you're weird. You are. And it's okay, because you're in great company. There are, 8 billion people on this planet now? We're all weird. Everybody is weird. I'm sitting in my car right now talking to no one. And you know what? I do it all the time, whether I'm making a video or not. I talk to myself all the time. I don't care. I do not care. It doesn't bother me. I wouldn't care if anyone heard me or saw me. I don't care. I don't care, because I'm not dealing with them. I'm being myself. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not breaking the law. Nothing wrong with it. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, yes, you're weird. You are weird. You are so weird. You're so freaking weird, and it's great, and it's okay, because we all are. It's been a good day so far. The sound of them putting up the hardy board isn't too bad, but they do have to cut it, so they have like a table saw out there, so they're cutting it. And it's very dusty when they cut it, so there's all this dust all over the place. But I have every bit of confidence that these guys will clean up everything, because they are very tidy. They really are. They are so good at cleaning up after themselves and not leaving trash and stuff everywhere, so it's wonderful. But tomorrow and Thursday it's supposed to rain. It's very cloudy and gross again today, but it was nice seeing the sunshine yesterday. I may try to make, I have a recipe for a pecan upside down cake. And after I leave Goodwill, after I leave this Goodwill, I think I'm going to run up to Walmart and get the ingredients to make this pecan upside down cake. It looks really good. It looks really easy. And you don't have to worry about any icing or anything like that, because you got this stuff that's going to be on it when you turn it upside down. So I think we're going to do that either tomorrow or Thursday, since they're not going to be working on the house. It's really noisy there now. I can't do anything there now video-wise. It's just way too noisy. So, but maybe Wednesday or Thursday we can do that. Oh, and a Christmas wreath. I still want to make a Christmas wreath, so I'm going to try to get that done soon too. And I realized this morning I haven't even gotten out my own Christmas cards, like the people in my own life. I have sent no Christmas cards except to the box that we looked at on the other channel. I sent those out. I forgot to send my own out. I haven't sent cards to anybody. I probably should get on that. If I'm going to send any out, I need to do it. I meant to do it about a week ago and just didn't. I have the box of cards sitting out. I have them. I just haven't sent any to anybody. So I really need to do that. But thank you so much for watching. I really need to get moving, because I also want to stop by the little thrift store before they close. And so I guess I will do that. But thank you so much for watching and for being here. I really hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.